And they say there's nothing new under the sun. Back before the 1980s, when air travel was expensive, the humble Australian family car had to be able to tow a big boat or caravan in order to take the family on holidays across Australia. So they turned to oversized Americans like the Dodge Phoenix and the Pontiac Parisienne. People love their huge interiors, endless torque, and look at me status. And you know what? They still do. In this case, we're talking about the Ram and Chevrolet Silverado Heavy Duty Series. My name is Byron Mathioudakis for CarsGuide.com.au, here to find out whether the MY25 Ram 2500/3500 facelift has got what it takes to do the job. Let's go. Now, here's where most people can only dream about owning such a plaything, because to have all this trailer towing torque, well, it doesn't come cheap. The range kicks off from just under $173,000 before on-road costs. That's the same retail as before, despite gaining a minor facelift, a major muscle boost, and a bit more kit, though the Silverado 2500 HD costs some $5K less. As you'd expect, most luxury features are present, included heated and vented front seats, a sunroof, retractable exterior mirrors, and surround view monitors. Upgraded driver assist safety systems have also been added. More on those later on. You can spot the facelift by the bi-LED headlights and bulgier bonnet, while the chrome's been replaced by black trim, including in the restyled grille, wheels and side steps, giving it a more modern appearance. Now here's a fun fact. In 2015, the first Ram 2500 Heavy Duty Series was the original American remanufactured truck in Australia, and they've made over 35,000 of this family of vehicle ever since. Anyway, for 2026, the MY25 facelift has a different nose, it's got different trim, the interior's been overhauled, and the engine has come in for a lot of attention. The 2500 has a coil-sprung rear suspension system, while the heavy duty, or should I say super heavy duty, 3500 has leaf springs, and that can tow up to 8,000 kilograms if you've got a special tow bar, and that of course is brake towing capacity. Anyway, this is a large truck with a big interior, so let's check out what it's like inside. Now, one of the big changes compared to the last 2500/3500 series is the switching out of the old bench seat, which made it a 6-seater, into these bucket seats. So that is apparently what the buyer base wants: comfort and opulence. The multimedia system has been updated, so has the electronic instrumentation. There's more multimedia stuff, such as twin phone chargers, a myriad of USB-A and C charging outlets, as well as more storage than you can throw a stick at. It's well made, very comfortable, and it does have a sense of luxury inside here. Meanwhile, the back seat has lots of under cushion storage as well, so that's one of the bonuses, as well as some underfloor pockets that you can kind of hide stuff in. Overall, it's comfortable, it's vast, it's imposing, and even the back window opens. Now, speaking of the back window, let's talk about what this thing can do in terms of towing. Tub dimensions are just under 2 meters in length by nearly 1.7 meters in width and 1.3 meters between the wheel arches, while depth is 511 millimeters, making it slightly smaller than the Silverado. And a swinging footstep is provided to help tub access. Maximum brake towing capacities vary from 3.5 tons to an unmatched 8 tons with the correct accessories. The 2500's payload is 785 kilograms, while the 3500 more than doubles that. And standard exhaust brakes help with braking on long descents when fully laden. Which brings us to the heart of the matter: muscle. Under this massive bulge is what I believe is the torquiest inline 6-cylinder engine that money can buy, at least in something that you can drive with a car driving license. Completely overhauled, the Cummins 6.7 litre 6-cylinder turbo diesel now delivers 13% more power and over 25% more torque, reducing the power gap with the Chevrolet's V8 turbo diesel and easily leapfrogging it for torque. Meanwhile, an 8-speed auto replaces the old 6-speed unit. It's now a second faster to 100 at under 7.3 seconds. Time to see how the 2500 HD performs out in the real world. The Ram Heavy Duty Series persists with a column shift, and it's on the right hand side. So you don't forget, this is a big old-fashioned American truck. And that certainly is how it feels once you get off the line. This thing has massive torque, as we've said earlier, and it is obvious the moment you accelerate. Now, I drove this car with and without a load, so I'll talk about it first without a load. The acceleration is quite thunderous because there's just so much twisting power going to all four wheels, or the rear wheels mainly actually. So in first, second and even third gear, this thing is prone to spinning the wheels. I mean, the traction control catches it, but you know, it certainly has a lot of muscle and oomph down there. Compared to, say, the Ram 1500, the 2500 does feel quite a bit larger and floatier. It really isn't something that you want to drive fast through corners because it's just set up to be a big cruiser. But given that, the steering goes exactly where you want it to, and it handles with quite a controlled manner. Of course, this thing soaks over bumps, like you barely feel them, although that's better when you put a bit of a load in the back. And it's quite refined. You do hear that inline six diesel burbling away, that big turbo pushing things along, but it has smooth changes. In fact, they're almost imperceptible. Parking is a bit of a thing, given this car is the size of a small house, but you do get good vision out. These mirrors that retract outwards as well as inwards really help with that sort of thing as well. And that also just makes the driver feel a bit more confident. The controls are light. Everything is pretty much where you expect it to be. And this is a sort of big, lazy, effortless cruiser that you can imagine me in 10 years' time when I'm a grey nomad taking out on a big drive. With a 3.5-ton caravan, the white 3500 HD you see here even managed to screech the tyres, pulling away on the dry test track, and kept piling on the speed like it wasn't even hauling anything. Plus, the planted chassis and trailer anti-sway tech seemed to keep everything in line as well. But the track surface was too calm to assess ride comfort from the 3500 HD's leaf spring suspension, and we weren't allowed to venture onto public roads. Still, the heaviest duty Ram at large felt in charge and in control. But we wouldn't want to be the ones paying to refill that massive fuel tank though. Guess what? The Australian government doesn't mandate an official combined fuel consumption figure for trucks like these. But the trip meter said that this used around 15.5 litres per 100 kilometres, and that was without towing or without a load. This is no Toyota Prius. No ANCAP crash tests exist for utes of this size. However, the Ram 2500 HD does score a 4 out of 5 star rating in the US National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, while the Silverado equivalent hasn't even been tested. For the MY25 facelift, the heavy-duty utes gain AEB with cyclist and pedestrian detection, while continuing with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assistance, 6 airbags and more. Check out my written review at carsguide.com.au to find out more on safety. So here's where the news may not be so good for potential buyers, because the Ram's warranty is well below its main competitor, dragging the HD's overall rating down as a result. It's the sole US full-size truck left with just a 3-year, 100,000 kilometre warranty, compared to the Silverado's 5-year unlimited kilometre coverage. Furthermore, maintenance intervals are only at 6 months or 12,000 kilometres, and there is no cap price servicing either. A trip around Australia will definitely need some planning as a result. If you're a grow nomad looking for something to do the big lap in, or a big caravanner / boater who needs something for a weekend getaway, then this sort of truck makes sense. And the changes that Ram has done to its heavy duty series is profound. In fact, it brings it right up to speed with the best in class. Don't forget, you can read the full review at carsguide.com.au, and as always, thanks for watching.